All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, this Chinese AI company that's making some serious noise in the tech world.
Right.
I mean, they're already going toe-to-toe with giants like Google and OpenAI.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
incredible.
we're going to figure out how they're doing it.
Absolutely.
So think of this deep dive as your, insider's guide to DeepSeek.
Yeah,
What they do, what makes them tick, and why you should, care.
definitely.
Because this is important stuff.
It is. It is.
So, first things first, what strikes you as the most interesting thing about DeepSeek?
For me, it's their ambition.
Their ambition.
It's not just about, tweaking existing AI.
Right.
They're aiming for AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Which basically means...
Like the holy grail of AI.
Yeah, exactly. Creating AI that can learn and solve problems like humans do, but on a much larger scale.
Okay, so they're not messing around.
Not at all.
And from what I've read, they're not just, all talk.
Right.
They've actually developed some pretty impressive AI models,
They have.
like DeepSeek Coder, for example.
Oh, yeah, DeepSeek code.
It can write code.
It can write code.
And get this,
Oh,
over 500,000 developers worldwide are already using it.
that's amazing.
I mean, can you even imagine how that's changing the software development landscape?
It's a game changer, especially for, smaller companies
Right.
or individual developers
Yeah.
who don't have these massive resources.
Right.
DeepSeek Coder can help them build sophisticated software much faster
Right. Yeah.
and much more efficiently.
So it's kind of like democratizing access to advanced coding.
Exactly. You said it perfectly.
Wow.
It's leveling the playing field in a way.
That's really interesting.
And that seems to be a recurring theme with DeepSeek,
Yeah.
Like their whole approach is built around open source development.
Right.
Which means they're making their powerful AI tools freely available
To anyone.
to anyone.
It's almost like they're saying, here's the future of AI.
Yeah.
Let's all build it together.
That's a great point.
It's a very collaborative approach,
It really is.
which is pretty unusual, I think, in the tech world.
It is. And it's certainly contributed to their rapid growth
Yeah.
and global reach.
Right.
Attracting talent,
Yeah.
fostering innovation in ways we haven't really seen before.
It's a whole new model almost.
It is. It is.
And it's led to some interesting partnerships.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with some of the big players.
Yeah.
You're talking about companies like Alibaba and Tencent, right?
Exactly.
Like those are some serious heavy hitters.
Yeah, they're the big players in the Chinese tech scene.
Right.
And it seems like everyone wants a piece of the DeepSeek pie.
It's like they become the cool kids on the block.
You could say that.
Everyone wants to sit at their lunch table.
And it makes sense,
Yeah.
These partnerships, they give DeepSeek access to vast amounts of data
Right.
and computing power.
Which is like the fuel for AI.
It's essential for training their models.
Right.
And for companies like Alibaba and Tencent, it's a strategic move
Yeah.
to stay ahead in the rapidly evolving AI landscape.
So it's a win-win for everyone involved.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
So we've got DeepSeek attracting developers. They're forming these powerful partnerships, making waves globally.
Yeah.
But how are they managing to challenge the established AI powerhouses?
That's the big question, right?
Especially those in the West.
It's interesting.
Because for so long it's felt like the West has had this kind of stranglehold on AI development.
They have.
And now suddenly you've got this company based in China
Right.
that's shaking things up.
Well, their open source approach is definitely a big part of it.
Yeah.
By making their tools widely available, they're attracting this global community of developers and researchers who are actually contributing to their progress.
It's like crowdsourcing AI development almost.
In a way it
Kickstarter.
is. And it's helped them accelerate their development cycle
Right.
and catch up to,
Yeah.
and in some cases even surpass. Wow.
Their Western counterparts.
Okay, so they're not just catching up, they're actually pulling ahead in some areas.
In certain areas, they definitely are.
That's impressive.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's almost like they're leveraging the collective intelligence of the global tech community.
That's a good way to put it.
But doesn't their location in China create some unique challenges?
It does.
Especially with the current geopolitical climate.
Absolutely. It definitely adds another layer of complexity to their story.
Right.
The U.S.-China tech rivalry.
That's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
It is. It's a significant factor. Yeah.
And we've already seen some actions like
Yeah.
the U.S. restricting certain AI chip exports to China,
Right.
which could potentially impact DeepSeek's progress.
It's like they're playing this game with one hand tied behind their back almost.
In some ways, yeah.
And what if those restrictions continue or even escalate?
Oh.
Could it lead to a fragmented AI landscape
Yeah.
where different countries are developing AI in isolation?
It's a possibility.
What would that mean for the future of AI innovation?
That's a critical question.
Because wouldn't it be better if everyone was working together
Ideally, yes.
to advance this technology?
But it's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
A fragmented landscape could lead to duplicated efforts,
Right.
slower overall progress.
So we could end up with multiple like smaller AI ecosystems instead of one big interconnected one.
Right.
But on the other hand, it could also foster, diverse approaches and solutions tailored to specific regional needs.
Exactly.
So maybe it's not all bad.
It might not be.
It's hard to say for sure.
It is.
It's too early to tell, I guess.
It's definitely something we need to keep an eye on, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's something to be mindful of.
Okay, so we've got this company based in China challenging Western dominance in AI.
Right.
Navigating this complex geopolitical landscape.
Yeah.
But they're also, from what I've read, they're deeply involved in discussions around AI safety and ethical development.
Absolutely. This is where DeepSeek's story gets even more interesting.
Right, because it's not just about, pushing the boundaries of what's technically possible.
No.
It's also about, thinking about the consequences.
Exactly.
And making sure that AI is developed responsibly.
That's right.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
It's a fascinating story.
We've got competition.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration.
Geopolitical tensions. And a commitment to ethical AI.
It's a lot to unpack.
All rolled into one company.
All in one company.
This is getting really interesting.
It is. It really highlights the complexities of AI development on a global scale.
Right.
DeepSeek it's not just a company.
It's like a microcosm.
It's a microcosm
of the broader challenges and opportunities that AI presents to the world.
To the world.
And their story is far from over.
Oh, not even close.
This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
This is definitely more than just a tech story, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like we're talking about the future of, well, pretty much everything.
I think so too.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's get back to DeepSeek.
Right.
What are some of the concrete risks associated with their rise? Especially given their open source approach.
That's an important point.
Because, we've talked about the benefits of open source.
Right.
But there's got to be a flip side to that, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be some potential downsides.
There are.
So what are some of the things that worry you?
Well, while open source fosters collaboration and rapid development,
right,
it also raises concerns about potential misuse. For example, someone could exploit DeepSeek Coder to create malicious code.
So the same tool that could be used to build amazing things can also be used to create,
harmful things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like cyber attacks, for example.
Yeah, like cyber attacks. That's a big one.
That's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
It's like giving everyone access to a powerful weapon.
Yeah.
But without any guarantee that they'll use it responsibly.
That's a good way to put it.
So how do we balance the benefits of open source AI with the need to safeguard against potential harm?
That's one of the big questions facing not just DeepSeek, but the entire AI community.
It's a collective responsibility almost.
It is.
So what are your thoughts on that?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Finding that balance is crucial.
Yeah.
And it's a discussion that needs to involve,
more than just the tech people.
More than just the tech people, yeah.
Got to be policymakers.
Researchers.
Everyone needs to be part of this conversation.
Everyone needs to be part of it.
Because this can affect all of us.
It is.
But before we delve further into the challenges,
right?
Let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And explore some of the exciting applications of DeepSeek's AI.
All right, let's do that.
Because I'm ready to hear about how they're changing the world.
Yeah.
beyond just, writing code.
Beyond writing code.
Which is amazing in itself.
It is. It is.
But let's see what else they're doing.
Let's see what else they're up to
with this technology.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the areas where they're really making strides?
They're making significant strides in fields like,
Like what?
Healthcare finance.
Finance. Okay.
And even urban planning.
Urban planning. Wow.
For example, they're working on AI-powered diagnostic tools that could revolutionize healthcare.
Revolutionize healthcare. How so?
Especially in underserved areas.
Okay.
Where access to specialized medical expertise
is limited.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine.
So instead of replacing doctors?
That's right. It's not about replacing doctors. It's about helping them make more accurate diagnoses, provide better care.
Okay, so it's more like a tool.
It's a tool
to augment human capabilities.
Exactly.
Rather than replacing them.
That's the goal.
Okay.
That's the goal.
That's a good example.
That's a good example
of how AI can be used for good.
Right.
For positive change.
And in finance.
Yeah.
They're developing AI algorithms.
Okay.
That can analyze vast amounts of financial data.
Oh wow, that's a lot of data.
It's a lot of data.
So they're basically looking for patterns.
They're looking for pattern
and trends. That humans might miss.
Exactly.
And then using that information
to make predictions. It's not market movements.
Okay. So it's like giving investors a crystal ball.
Not quite a crystal ball.
Well, a glimpse into the future.
A glimpse into the future, yeah.
But doesn't that also create some potential risks?
Of course.
Because if you've got these algorithms,
those algorithms fall into the wrong hands,
right? Or if they're used for nefarious purposes.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
It feels like we keep coming back to this idea.
We do.
Of needing clear ethical guidelines.
Absolutely.
And regulations around AI.
We need guardrails.
Because the technology is advancing so rapidly.
It's moving faster than the regulations can keep up.
And we don't want to end up in a situation where where the genie's out of the bottle.
Exactly.
And it's too late to put it back in.
And DeepSeek seems to recognize that.
They do.
They've been quite vocal about the need for responsible AI development.
They're not just, burying their heads in the sand.
No.
They're actually acknowledging that there are these ethical concerns.
And they've even published a white paper.
A white paper
outlining their vision.
Their vision for what?
For human-centric AGI.
Human-centric AGI
over the next decade.
Okay, now I have to ask.
Go ahead.
What exactly is human-centric AGI?
That's a good question.
Is that just a fancy way of saying?
It's not just about building friendly robots.
Friendly robots.
Yeah, no, it's more than that.
Okay.
Human-centric AGI is about ensuring
what?
That AI is developed and deployed in a way that aligns with human values.
Human values.
And benefits society as a whole.
So it's not just about preventing a robot uprising.
It's not just about that.
It's about making sure that AI is used to address real-world problems.
Exactly.
And improve people's lives.
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay, so they're not just thinking about the technology.
No.
They're thinking about the impact on humanity.
That's right.
And they're putting this into practice through their pilot project.
They have pilot projects.
In cities like Shenzhen,
Singapore,
where they're using AI to create,
smarter,
more sustainable
urban environments. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not just talking the talk. No, they're walking the walk.
They're actually putting their money where their mouth is.
They are.
And trying to make it different.
But trying to make a real difference.
And I read about those projects. They sound really cool.
They're fascinating.
It sounds like they're using AI to,
optimize traffic flow. Manage energy consumption.
Okay.
Improve public safety. Even personalize citizen services.
So they're really trying to create these futuristic cities.
They are. They're trying to build the cities of the future.
That sound amazing on paper.
Yeah.
But isn't there a risk?
There are always risks.
Of creating a surveillance state.
That's a valid concern.
If we rely too heavily on AI for these things.
It's a concern that needs to be taken seriously.
Because if AI is controlling everything from From traffic
It's like
lights to building energy systems.
it's collecting a lot of data
It's collecting a massive amount of data
about our movements,
about our movement,
our behaviors.
our behaviors, yeah.
So the potential for misuse is definitely there.
And DeepSeek acknowledges these concerns, right?
They do.
They're not just, pretending that it's not an issue.
They're aware of the risks.
They're aware of the risks.
And they've stated their commitment to developing privacy-preserving
AI solutions.
They're working on techniques like federated learning.
Federated learning, what's that?
Which allows AI models to be trained on decentralized data sets without compromising individual privacy.
So it's a way of getting the benefits of AI without sacrificing our privacy.
That's the idea.
Okay.
That's the idea.
That's encouraging to hear.
It's promising.
It sounds like they're at least trying to address these ethical challenges.
They are.
But it's definitely something we need to keep a close eye on.
Absolutely. We need to stay vigilant.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
It's not something we can just set and forget.
No. This is going to require constant attention.
Constant vigilance.
And scrutiny.
For all of us.
But it's not all doom and gloom, right?
No, not at all.
Didn't you say they were working on some
They are.
Some pretty cool AI applications in healthcare?
They are.
I'm ready for some good news.
All right. Well, their work in healthcare is particularly promising.
Okay.
Imagine AI algorithms that can analyze medical images to detect diseases like cancer at earlier stages.
At earlier stages, that's huge.
It's potentially life-saving or AI-powered virtual assistants that can provide personalized health recommendations and support to patients, improving their overall well-being.
So it's not just about treating diseases. No.
It's about preventative care.
Preventative care.
It's about improving
and overall wellness.
Overall wellness. Yeah. That's the kind of AI I can get behind AI that's actually making a difference.
Make a positive impact
in people's lives.
Exactly.
But what about the financial side of things?
Yes.
How is DeepSeek managing to fund
That's a good question.
all these ambitious projects?
It takes a lot of resources.
I mean, open source software is great.
It is.
But it doesn't exactly, pay the bills, does it?
It's not their primary revenue stream, no.
Okay, so how are they making money?
They generate revenue through a combination of things.
Like what?
Commercial partnerships.
Okay.
Consulting services. And customized AI solutions.
So you're kind of doing it all?
They're diversifying. They've also secured significant investments
from
venture capital firms.
Venture capital firms. Okay. And as we mentioned earlier, they have those strategic partnerships
with those big Chinese companies.
So
they've got a lot of different revenue streams.
They do.
Which allows them to fund.
It allows them to fund both their open source initiatives and their commercial ventures.
So they're striking a balance.
They're trying to find a balance
between their idealistic goals and the practical reality
of running a business. And that balance is key.
It is.
To their long-term sustainability.
Because they can't just be a charity.
They can't. They need to be commercially viable to continue pushing the boundaries of AI research and development.
But they also need to stay true to their mission of making AI accessible
and beneficial
to everyone.
That's the tightrope they're walking.
It's like they're walking this tightrope
between being a for-profit company and a force for good.
A force for good in the world.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
But let's not forget.
Yeah.
They're still a relatively young company. There's a lot that could still happen.
Yeah.
Both good and bad.
Bad.
Their story is still unfolding.
It is.
Their success will depend on their ability to navigate the complexities of the AI landscape.
Which is a pretty complex landscape, isn't it?
It is.
It's not just about the technology itself.
No.
It's about all these other factors.
The ethical considerations.
The
geopolitical tensions.
Yeah, the political landscape.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is.
It's a lot to juggle.
It sounds like their journey is just as much about navigating, human challenges.
As
it is about technological innovation.
That's a great way to put it.
Because you can have the best technology in the world, but if you don't use it wisely,
Right.
if you don't think about the consequences,
It can do more harm than good.
it can backfire.
It can backfire, absolutely.
And that's what makes DeepSeek such a fascinating case study.
It is a fascinating case study.
Because they represent this convergence,
Deep technology,
business and ethics in the age of AI.
It's a microcosm of the bigger picture.
It is.
It really is.
So what's next for DeepSeek?
That's the question.
Where do they go from here?
Well, they've laid out their vision for the next decade.
Okay.
In their white paper.
The white paper
on human-centric AGI.
So they're not just thinking about the next quarter.
No.
Or the next year.
They're thinking long-term.
They're thinking long-term. They're thinking about the next decade.
They're trying to shape the future.
And what does that future look like, according to them?
Well, they plan to continue developing more advanced AI models.
Okay.
Expand their partnerships. And apply their technology to a wider range of industries.
Okay.
And societal challenges.
So they're not just focused on one sector.
No, they're thinking broadly.
They're thinking about the big picture.
The big picture.
It's a bold vision.
It is.
And one that has the potential to change the world.
It does.
In profound ways.
It does have the potential to change the world in profound ways. But as we've discussed, there are also significant risks involved.
There are.
So for you, the listener.
Yes, listener, pay attention.
Here's the big question.
Okay, hit us with it.
Will DeepSeek manage to live up to their promises and usher in a new era of beneficial AI?
But that's what we're all hoping for, right?
We are. Or will they succumb to the pressures of competition and compromise their ethical principles along the way?
That's the fear, isn't it?
It is a real concern.
That they'll get so caught up in the race to the top.
Yeah.
That they'll forget about,
the bigger picture.
The bigger picture, the human cost.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
I think it's too early to say for sure.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
What the future holds.
For DeepSeek.
For DeepSeek and for AI as a whole.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
This story is far from over.
Oh, absolutely not.
This is just chapter 1.
It's just the beginning.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling.
It is compelling.
We're not just talking about a company.
Right.
We're talking about a potential turning point.
It is a potential turning point.
In human history.
The choices DeepSeek makes in the coming years
will
have ripple effects.
Ripple effects.
That extend far beyond the tech industry.
Beyond the tech industry. So what are you saying?
I'm saying this is bigger than just, Silicon Valley.
This is a global phenomenon.
It's a global phenomenon.
This is something that's going to affect everyone.
It will affect everyone eventually.
And the choices that DeepSeek makes could impact everything.
Everything from healthcare and education.
To
the very nature of work.
The nature of work.
And the future of our economies.
Wow.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. It's almost too big to wrap your head around.
It is.
But that's the thing about AI, right?
What's that?
It has the potential to transform.
It does.
Everything we know.
It really does.
About the world.
And ourselves. It's not just about technology.
It's about what it means.
It's about what it means.
To be human.
To be human in the 21st century.
In the 21st century, yeah.
And that's why
it's so important to be informed
and engaged. Because if we're not paying attention,
if we're
just letting this happen,
we're giving up our agency.
We're letting other people make decisions for us.
And those decisions
could have huge consequences.
Huge consequences, yeah.
For all of us.
So we need to step up.
We do.
We need to take responsibility.
We're going to take ownership
for the future that we want.
We need to be active participants.
Yeah.
Not passive observers.
So what can our listener do?
What can they do
to make a difference?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Ask questions.
Don't just accept what you're told.
Do your own research.
Dig deeper.
Challenge the assumptions.
Because
this is too important.
It's too important to just sit back and let it happen.
To just be passive.
We need to be proactive.
And second, don't be afraid to speak up. Share your thoughts. Engage in discussions.
Engage in those difficult conversations.
Because this is not just a technological issue.
It's not.
This is a societal issue.
A human issue.
It's a human issue.
And we need to approach it as such.
So let's talk about it.
Let's have those conversations.
Let's figure out what kind of future we want.
Kind of world we want to live in.
And then let's work together.
Let's work together.
To create it.
To make it a reality.
Because we have the power.
We do have the power.
To shape the future.
We're not powerless.
We're not just pawns in this game.
We're the players.
We're the players.
We get to decide how this plays out.
So let's make sure.
Let's make sure
that we make the right choices.
The right choices for ourselves.
For ourselves.
For our children.
For our children.
And for the future of humanity.
That's a pretty powerful message.
It's an important message.
To end on.
And I think it's a message that DeepSeek would agree with.
You think so?
I do.
Because they seem to be very aware.
They are.
Of the ethical implications.
They are.
Of their work.
Of their work.
And they seem to be genuinely committed.
They do seem to be.
To using AI for good.
For good.
But as you said, only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
If they can stay true to that mission.
That's the big question.
And it's a question that we all need to be asking.
We all need to be asking.
Not just of DeepSeek,
right.
but of all the
companies,
all the governments,
the institutions
that are shaping this powerful technology.
Because the future of AI is not something that should be decided by a small group of experts or corporations.
It's a future that we all need to shape together.
We all need to be involved.
So what can our listener do?
What can they do
to get involved?
Well, there are a lot of things they can do. They can support organizations that are advocating for responsible AI development.
Okay, so like advocacy groups,
think tanks,
research institutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can join citizen groups that are pushing for ethical guidelines.
Okay, so grassroots movements.
Exactly. They can even participate in online forums.
Online forums like social media.
Social media, yeah, or specialized forums
where these issues are being discussed.
Where people are having these conversations.
So there are actually a lot of ways.
There are
to get involved.
You just have to,
find them. Find the right communities.
The right platforms.
And join the conversation. And don't underestimate the power of your voice.
Your voice matters.
Even if you think
you're just one person.
Yeah.
Your voice can make a difference.
So contact your elected officials.
Yes.
Let them know.
That
you care about.
You care about AI regulation.
Yeah, regulation.
Ethical development.
These
technologies will be shaping our lives.
They will be.
So we need to have a say.
We need to have a say in how they're used.
Exactly.
So be informed. Be vocal. And be active. Those are pretty good takeaways. For any deep dive, actually.
Absolutely.
But in the case of DeepSeek.
It's
especially important.
Because
they're a company that's pushing the boundaries.
They are.
But also inviting the world.
To
come along for the ride.
Whether
that ride leads to a utopian? Or dystopian future? Well, that's partly up to us.
It is. It's partly up to us.
Okay, that's both inspiring.
It is inspiring.
And a little terrifying. All at the same time.
That's the nature of living in a time of rapid technological change.
It's both exhilarating and a little bit scary. But we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
I wouldn't.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
It is an exciting time to be alive.
Even if it's a little bit scary. So what's your overall assessment of DeepSeek?
I think they're a company with a lot of potential. They're doing some really innovative work. They're pushing the boundaries of AI. And they seem to be genuinely committed to using this technology.
For good.
But
there are risks.
There are always risks.
There are.
With any new technology.
And
AI is no exception.
So
we need to be careful. We need to be thoughtful. And we need to be engaged. We can't just sit back and let things happen.
We need to take an active role.
We do.
In shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately. It's our future.
It's our future.
That's at stake.
So
let's let's make sure that we make the right choices.
The right choices.
For ourselves. For our children. And for the future of humanity.
Okay,
on that note.
I
I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
I think so too.
Into the fascinating world of DeepSeek.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has been.
It really has.
So much to think about.
So much to think about.
So many questions still unanswered.
But that's part of the excitement, isn't it?
It is. It is.
The unknown.
The unknown.
The possibilities.
Are endless.
They are endless.
And that's what makes AI so compelling.
It's a field that's constantly evolving.
Constantly
pushing the boundaries.
So we'll have to revisit this topic.
We will, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will.
In the future.
In the not too distant future.
Because this story's
just getting started.
It's just getting started.
So
for our listener,
yes,
we hope you found this deep dive.
We hope you found it
into DeepSeek
informative
and
thought-provoking.
We
encourage you.
Yes, listener, we encourage you
to continue exploring, to continue questioning, and to continue learning.
Because the more we know,
the
better equipped we'll be
to make informed decisions.
About the future that we want. So until next time, keep exploring,
keep
questioning, and keep learning. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
We've talked about the incredible potential of DeepSeek's AI, but also, the very real concerns about its possible misuse.
The potential for misuse.
It's almost like we're on the edge of a whole new world.
Yeah.
But we don't have a map yet.
That's a great way to put it.
We're in uncharted territory.
We are in DeepSeek, with their open source approach and their global ambitions. They're right at the forefront.
They're leading the charge of this exploration.
It's a bit daunting, to be honest.
It is.
So much is changing so quickly.
It is. It's moving fast.
How can we, the everyday people, even begin to keep up?
Right.
Let alone, have a say in how AI develops.
That's a great question.
Because it feels like it's this thing that's happening.
Yeah.
In these tech labs and research centers, and we're just kind of along for the ride. Well, that's where awareness comes in.
Awareness.
Deep dives like this one, they're a starting point. The more we understand about companies like DeepSeek, the more we understand about the potential.
And the risks.
Exactly.
Of AI in general.
Yeah.
But knowledge is only powerful if you use it, right? So what can our listener...
Yeah. What can they do with this information?
With this information about DeepSeek.
About AI in general.
Because it's one thing to learn about it.
Right.
But it's another thing to actually do something about it.
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, don't be passive.
Don't just,
sit back and let it happen.
Nope, and let it happen.
Be proactive.
Okay. Share what you've learned.
Okay.
Talk to your friends and family about AI.
So start those dinner table debates. Exactly.
Get people talking about this stuff.
Because it's not just a tech issue anymore.
Right.
It's going to impact everyone.
It's going to affect all of us.
So we need to be talking about it.
Okay, so raise awareness. But beyond that, what else can people do?
Look for opportunities.
Opportunities to get involved.
Yep.
There are organizations out there that are advocating for responsible AI development.
Okay, so like advocacy groups,
citizen groups,
pushing
for ethical guidelines.
Okay, so like grassroots movements.
Exactly.
Oh, yep.
Even online forums where these issues are being discussed.
Okay, so find your tribe.
Find
the people
who are already thinking about these things.
And join the conversation. Don't just sit on the sidelines.
Exactly.
And don't underestimate the power of your voice. Your voice matters.
Even if you think
you're just one person.
You can make a difference. So contact your elected officials.
Contact your elected officials.
Let them know.
Let them know that you care.
That you care about.
About AI regulation.
AI regulation.
Medical development.
Ethical development.
These technologies
right.
are going to be shaping our lives.
They are.
So we need to have a say.
We need to have a say in how they're used.
Exactly.
So be informed.
Be informed.
Be vocal.
Be vocal.
And be active.
And be active.
Those are pretty good takeaways.
Those are good takeaways?
For any deep dive, actually.
For any deep dive, for sure.
But in the case of DeepSeek.
In the case of DeepSeek.
It's especially important.
It's especially important.
Because they're a company that's pushing the boundaries.
They are pushing the boundaries.
But also inviting the world to come along for the ride.
They're saying, come join us.
Let's figure this out together.
Let's explore this new world together.
But whether that ride leads to a utopian.
A utopian.
Or dystopian future.
Or dystopian future.
Well, that's partly up to us.
That's right. It is partly up to us.
Okay. That's both inspiring and a little terrifying.
It is both of those things.
All at the same time.
It is. It's a strange time to be alive.
It is. It's like we're standing on the precipice of something.
Yeah.
Something huge.
Something huge. Something world-changing.
But we don't know.
We don't know where it's going to lead.
Whether it's going to be,
good or bad.
Good or bad.
We get to decide.
We get to decide.
We have the power.
We have the power.
To shape the future.
That's a pretty profound thought.
It is a profound thought.
And it's a lot of responsibility.
It's a huge responsibility.
But I think we're up to the challenge.
I think we are too.
I think humanity has a way of rising to the occasion.
Of rising to the occasion, yeah.
Of overcoming adversity. And I think this is just another one of those moments.
Well, I think you're right.
Where we need to come together.
We do.
And figure out a way forward.
A way forward that works for everyone.
That works for everyone, that benefits everyone.
That's the key.
So on that note,
I
think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
For too.
Into the fascinating world of DeepSeek.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
It really has.
And we hope you, the listener,
yes, listener,
found it as fascinating as we did.
We hope you learned something.
We hope you learned something.
We hope it sparks some new thoughts.
Some new ideas.
New ideas.
And most importantly,
we
hope it inspired you.
We hope it inspired you.
To get involved. To join the conversation.
To help shape the future of AI.
Because the future of AI is the future of humanity.
It's our future.
And it's up to all of us to make sure. That it's a future. That we can all be proud of. So until next time. Keep exploring. Keep questioning. And keep learning.
Thanks for joining us.